All right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling, baby. We are here and we are live for a discussion. Now, Kevin calling in as we speak, folks. Listen, we're going to be discussing a lot. There's so much that happened tonight. But we have the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight coming up here in just shortly. And first and foremost, we're going to be discussing the odds live throughout the episode. Kevin, I didn't even tell you about this. Kevin, welcome to the show. He's joining in live as we speak. And listen, currently, I'm going to be checking DraftKings, folks. We're going to be updating the odds. I got bets, and I'm going to be giving you advice on bets. Maybe not advice, but along with that, folks, interviews are out now of Rich Bender, Clarissa Chun, and Helen Maroulis. Go check them out at BEG Wrestling right now. They're out now. Tomorrow morning, Sarah Hildebrandt interview coming out now. That might be the best one of all of them, Kevin. I'm telling you right now. This is our second interview
She's awesome.
with Sarah, and she's incredible. When she actually agrees to a live stream challenge with us in the near future, and I'm telling you right now, dude, we're going to, between Sarah and Helen, their social medias, you know, we might see some changes here in wrestling, but live odds discussion, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, okay? Rankings updates here by Kevin coming out here soon. We're going to be discussing them. They're out right now live on begwrestling.com. Also, Kevin, Bo Nickal fights tomorrow. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Discussing that along with that, yes, and that's on UFC, and along with UFC Fight Pass, Campbell in Nebraska wrestled tonight out on a baseball field. I don't know if you saw it on UFC
yeah,
Fight Pass.
it rained or something, didn't it?
And right before the claw match was scheduled to happen, Andonian, it started raining. So I believe they took it inside, so it's not live stream. It's going to be pre-recorded, but man, I was looking forward to discussing that. But folks, this is live. We are live. And Kevin is so good that it makes it seem like it's not even live, but the reality is we are live. And the link in the description for you and your opportunity to call in and add to the conversation is right in the description. You can call in and you can add to the – I mean, this is a live discussion. This is a wrestling community, folks. We're going to be discussing wrestling, UFC, boxing. This is sports, but primarily wrestling. And, Kevin, we got really a lot to discuss about. Folks, final thoughts, like, and subscribe. But, hey, and tomorrow, the NWCA All-Star Classic hosted by Flo. Some of the most unbelievable matchups happening tomorrow, and we're actually going live tomorrow night immediately following that, me and Wayne, folks. So, you know he gets fired up. And comment. And comment, look, and we already got some comments. Hey, you get some comments in. We're going to host them on the show. Call in on the show, folks. This is live. We're talking Jake Paul. We're talking Mike Tyson. Kevin, before I throw it to you, I just want to tell you real quick, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts right now, and things may change. I bet yesterday my thoughts were Mike Tyson all day, okay? Then I saw the betting odds. Vegas knows best. Jake Paul was a minus 200 favorite to start today. He has now moved to a minus 270, and which tells me I know Mike Tyson's a dog, and I see these highlights of him, boxing. I know he can throw a punch, but he's 58 years old, and this is the thought that got me, Kevin. I want to hear your thoughts. When's the last time he took a punch to the head? He's almost 60 years old. He's going against a young and hungry in his prime dog, and the Vegas knows best. Vegas put these odds. I bet at plus 2,000, $20 to win 420 on DraftKings, folks. I don't know if the odds are still there. You can get them. Jake Paul to win in the first round. Not only for a knockout possibility, we know Mike Tyson's temper, right? Mike Tyson, he might just go off the rails in the first round. It's like guessing
if Ferrari will finish the season or not, kind of, you know?
Exactly.
And the thing is, did you see, you saw the slap, right? The slap to the head?
The slap, yes.
The reason for that was he talks about how he's got bad feet. Like, he's like, if somebody steps on my foot, I'll go down. So they zoomed up and Jake Paul stepped on his foot right there on purpose. He went like that, and that's why he slapped him in the head.
I know.
But, dude, if the guy can't handle someone stepping on his foot, I think he might be going down. When Tyson was 19 years old, there was not a badder man ever. He could take out anybody. However, He hasn't fought since like he fought like 4 years ago or something. I think who was it? I can't remember.
Man, it was a long time ago, and
But
it was a
it just,
fugazi
dude,
fight.
Jake Paul, you know, he's annoying and stuff, and he's not a professional boxer, but he is like
But he
okay, you know. I
he
mean,
trains
he's
with
taken out some dudes.
professionals. And he's been
Yeah,
training
he's
with professionals, man. And as much as I got to be honest, I hate Jake Paul, dude. I hate him. But man,
and
I am
yeah,
rooting on Mike Tyson. And
me too,
dude,
man.
I'm in my late
The
30s here,
rules
man.
too.
You know how much it would crush me to see Mike Tyson get knocked out, dude? It would absolutely crush me. It really would. But the reality of the
Yeah,
situation is, and I'm looking at these Vegas betting odds, and but before I woke up and looked at them this morning, I thought Mike Tyson all day, every day. I would have said Mike Tyson was a minus 270 favorite, but no, it's Jake Paul right now, and
well,
Vegas knows best,
the
Kevin.
the thing is there's supposed to be some kind of like goofy rules too that favor Jake Paul. Like I
Okay,
can't,
well
I don't
the
know what they are,
gloves are
but yeah,
bigger.
they're
The gloves are bigger, which favors Jake Paul, which means every shot has essentially less impact. However, the rounds are shorter, which favors Mike Tyson, obviously with his age and his stamina. So, there's
right.
contradicting stories about the rules, but, at the end of the day, I also bet that this fight ends in the first round because dude, the hype up. And then after I saw that slap, man, I'm telling you right now, I thought, is there really a possibility this goes longer than one round? Because both of these dudes are just going to come out throwing haymakers. I
Did
cannot
you,
wait. I got it waiting up on the screen. It's on Netflix, Kevin.
Zach? Did you see though in 2020 when Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr.? He
Okay, that's what it
actually
was.
like they called it like a draw,
Hmm.
but he
Tyson won that.
literally he won it hands down, and he looked good, dude. Like his endurance was up and stuff. But man, this is 4 more years, and when you get that, it's that age. Every year you age is just it's not like you're going from 28 to 29, 29 to 30. You know, it's just going way
Yeah.
up.
No,
So,
I agree with that. But
but
one last thing.
I feel like something. Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I feel like something is going to happen. Something like Tyson's just going to be getting his head pounded in. They're going to have to stop it, and then Tyson's going to flip out. I feel like the fight will be stopped for some reason or another way too early. I don't
Okay,
know.
folks.
I
Live
like your bet.
betting
I like your
odds.
bet, Zach.
But live betting odds, I have up on the screen when I made this thumbnail like 30 minutes ago. Jake Paul was minus 270, Tyson plus 225. It's now Jake Paul minus 245, Tyson plus 200. So money coming in on Tyson, folks. We're going to watch it. I'm going to keep you updated throughout it. But Kevin, we have so much more, man, in wrestling to talk about that. It's absolutely incredible, man. So I apologize for the long
Yeah.
intro. But let me
No, man,
throw it
I
to
love
you, man,
boxing.
because this we're going to keep an eye on that, along with Bo Nickal. We'll touch on Bo Nickal fighting tomorrow. We're going to touch on that at the end of the episode. But, Kevin, let's get back to NCAA wrestling, collegiate wrestling, man. That's what we specialize in. That's what you specialize in. Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
We specialize in it, absolutely. So obviously the big news, Gable Steveson has his another year of eligibility, and apparently he can start right in the middle of just right in the middle of the semester. No big deal. There are no rules anymore, I'm convinced. If anyone's wondering how this could be, because people are like, oh, it's the COVID year. Well, technically, it's the fact that he Olympic redshirted last year. He was able to retro Olympic redshirt, which is an absolute joke in itself, considering, he didn't even attempt to try out for the trials. He wasn't at the Olympic trials and the World Championships the year before. He jetted on us too. So they have to fix that system. It's a joke. It's already been a joke. And the fact that you can go back and go, I'm going to take that Olympic red shirt for the Olympics that already happened. Come on, man. So I think that's it's absolutely ridiculous.
Gable
And
Steveson, best known for his snip, snap, on the mat and off the mat, right? Hey,
yeah. And you know what? Like everyone's like, why is he doing it? What's he got left to prove? He doesn't want to prove anything. He's getting paid, man. He just got fired from his Bills job, so he needs another job. And you know what? Yeah, he's training MMA, but it's going to take him a little while to get some green for there. So you know what he's doing? He's going to Minnesota. He took a job at Minnesota to be their heavyweight, and that's what he's doing. And you know what? This doesn't mean he's doing freestyle, because as soon as his job is done with at Minnesota, he's probably going to keep going to MMA. But Why wouldn't he do it? Who knows what he's making? 200 grand, 300 grand, who knows? It's a lot of money though. He's not going to make anywhere else, right?
Correct. And
Yeah,
he's back.
so
A lot of people hate it. I did hear the plans are he is doing MMA afterwards, and you saw him training with John Jones, right? So he's out there
yep.
training with John Jones, and I don't know, Kevin, if you want to segue right into the rankings off that, but obviously there's a big impact in our NCAA rankings. Gable Steveson coming back, and there's been some people in the BEG Wrestling private chat. Everyone's welcome to join. You just have to join it. Arguing whether he should be ranked number 1 right now, given his time off.
Yeah, so here's the thing, man, is had he not come, like, remember he took some time off and then he showed up at what was it, Final X or something, and then he still won 2 matches against Mason Paris, and Mason Paris ended up being our world rep that year, and he took a bronze medal. So I still think, and he has been wrestling in the Minnesota room this entire time since he's left Buffalo. He's been wrestling there. So that's October, November, September, October, November. That's 3 months. So just like everybody else, he's going to be fine. He's not going to lose his, sometimes people need a little refresher anyway, just to get some time off. He's going to be fine. However, I don't think that there's this massive gap between him and Kirkfleet that everyone is assuming. I think that is going to be more of a match than people think. I don't think he's going to ragdoll him. I think it's going to be a tight match. And personally, I know everyone's like, oh, it sucks to be Greg Kirkfleet. Not really. He doesn't have any pressure on him. He already got his NCAA title last year, right? It's not like he doesn't have a title yet and he's looking for a senior. He got his title. Nobody expects him to win. And he has a shot to knock off the Olympic champion.
That's a great point.
I think he can be cool as a cucumber, go in there and just wrestle his thing. I'm sure they'll have a great game plan for him, Penn State coaches. And I'm not saying that I'm picking him to win, but I'm saying that this isn't like the worst situation in the world for him.
Well, Kevin, you bring up a great point that I had not thought about. All the pressure in the world is on Gable, and now none of the pressure is on Kirkfleet, because Kirkfleet has already he's got his medal, and now he's not the person who's expected to win this. Gable, could you imagine if Gable comes back for this final season and does not win? How embarrassing would that be?
It would be,
Kirkfleet
it would remind me kind of
his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of remind me of RBY, only not magnified. It's magnified more because Gable's Olympic champ. But NCAA wise, though, RBY was a 2-time champ. Gable's a 2-time champ. And they're going for the 3rd, and nobody expected RBY to lose that one. And he had the longest winning streak in the country. Gable, by the way, brings in a 52-match win streak. And, yeah, the thing that bothers me is, and I know I've talked about this before, is Gable, he's the biggest hypocrite, man. He went on the Clash of Combat show and he was just ripping Yanni apart. I don't know if you can.
I have the
can we show that or no?
The video. I do. You want me to take a break?
Check this out.
All right, folks.
Check this video out, folks.
Okay, not the. Okay.
Do you want me to talk about something else while you're doing it?
Go ahead.
Healthy and just win.
Look how long it took Yanni.
Yeah.
So like Yanni, 8 years, 20 years or something.
Yeah,
it took Yanni like 20 years to win 4 national titles because he sat out like 3 years. And I think that's where the game in NCAAs gets a little weird, just because guys have the leverage to go Olympic red shirt, gray shirt. And that's 3 years, and now it's
with the COVID year too. I mean,
with the COVID year, that's 4 free years, and now you got kids coming back for an 8th year, and it's like. When do you feel like your time is ready to go to freestyle? But Yanni, he's fantastic though. But it's like just the amount of time it took for him to win 4 is crazy. Just because all the time, the 2 years of COVID, the Olympic, and it's just the time consuming is different. And he's got to go through the.
Okay, Kevin. Wow.
So
very
I got.
interesting.
Oh man.
Shout out our boys at Clash of Combat because wow. The interview exclusive there. Yeah, he's kind of criticizing Yanni in a sense.
Well, the thing is, there's so much wrong with what he said. First of all, before even getting into being a hypocrite, it didn't take Yanni 8 years, okay? Yanni won it as a true freshman. Yanni won it as a true sophomore. Then thank goodness he took an Olympic shirt, because if not, that was the year the NCAA canceled the tournament. And being at Cornell, if he wasn't taking an Olympic shirt, that would have counted for his eligibility. So then the Olympics get postponed, and he's able to take another Olympic shirt. And good thing he did that, because the Ivy League canceled their season. Then when that was over, he did it. He won it as a junior and a senior. So he was in college for 6 years. 2 of the years, no matter what he did, he could not wrestle. There was no NCAA tournament. There was no Ivy League. So he did it. He was there 1 more year than the usual person. Actually, the usual person now is 6 or 7 years. And so now we got Gable, who's pretty much, he's the king of like backhanded compliments, and he's talking about how, oh, it took Yanni 20 years and this and that. Dude, you're going for your 3rd title now, and it's your 7th year. So Yanni won 4 in 6 years. You're going for your 3rd in 7 years. So what do you think about that?
That's Kevin. Obviously, you're a little sour over there.
Because I'm telling you, man, and we'll go into, I got videos for next episode or episode after. There's more of this Gable stuff that goes on, man, and you'll see he is sneaky with these backhanded compliments. I got a ton of clips.
Wow.
But yeah, man,
so
don't rip on a 4-timer.
And folks, but let me speak for the general overall wrestling fan, Kevin. We're very excited. Gable Steveson is coming back into our sport, man. We thought he was about to be in the NFL, and now he's back into our sport. And I'm sorry, Penn State fans, you're not going to win a title this year at 285, but this is great for our sport, dude. Okay, the publicity of our sport. This is what we need. Gable.
I'm gonna push back a little bit. And it's nothing to do with the video you just saw. I don't really. I kind of feel like we've seen it. It actually makes the landscape less competitive, I think. It's more interesting with him not in there. I'm not saying I don't love watching him wrestle and stuff. And if he was going to jump off this and go into freestyle, I would be totally game for it. But I'm not as excited, and I don't know. I'm just kind of sick of all these 6-7 year crap going on, But you're right, it will bring eyes, and we're talking about it right now, aren't we? So it is good, and I don't know. I know your dad. Can your dad call in? Because he's got he's got a lot to say about it.
Angry to call in. I think he's too angry.
Yeah,
we're gonna hear from him.
He's not happy. Oh, good. So yeah, with the rankings, we did put Gable first. To make a really, really long story just long, yes, Gable we put number 1 in our rankings, with Kirk Fleet behind him at 2nd. And he's a 2-time Hodge winner. He's got a 52-match win streak. He beat Kirk Fleet last time. Yes, it was a few years ago, but he won the match. I think it was like 8-3. And I would be, let's face it, you'd be kind of shocked if Gable doesn't win an NCAA title this year, So just that alone makes it where that's why he's number 1.
Yeah, he's
right.
Not coming back for any reason other than to win that. And not only that, he's going to dominate. He's going to throw Kirk around like a fish. I'm sorry.
No way, man. I don't know.
Yes,
we might have to make a bet on that.
Around, and he's going to throw Wyatt Hendrickson around. He's going to throw Wyatt Hendrickson right off the mat like we saw at Olympic trials. Wyatt Hendrickson get thrown off the mat.
That was thud.
I'm telling you right now.
What? Okay, so do you think you want to make a
reason Gable's coming back, and then he's going to go into MMA because he's been training with John Jones. I don't know. Have you heard of John Jones? He's fighting
yeah, dude. He's a Rochester boy. He's a Rochester boy, right where I live. He's a bad man, dude. Do you think he'll major these guys? I don't think I don't think he bonuses Kirk. Not even. I think he wins by like maybe 3 points.
Ooh,
4 points.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but not really, and say, yeah, he majors his way, nothing less throughout NCAA.
I'd say over under with Kirk. I'd say 4. That'd be it. So would you say over 4?
Yeah, I said over unders 8.5.
Oh, 8.
8.5 for me.
Oh, give me that all day. I'll take Kirk.
Oh, please, come on now. We'll talk, but Kevin, let's talk about some other weight classes, man. There's a lot of rankings updates, man, and I don't know if you want to work backwards or you want to start from 125.
Yeah.
We got All-Star Classic tomorrow also to talk about.
Yeah. All right, let's get rolling here. So 125, Anthony Noto is descending back down to 125, which is what we've been talking about on this show all along. It's his senior year. Why is he going to all of a sudden go up to 133? He got beat by a kid that he tech-falled last year, so he's dropped down. NC State, it was Camacho, but Vincent Robinson, holy crap, as soon as I saw him, I couldn't believe it. He is so good. He did lose the wrestle-off to Camacho. However, they entered the journeyman together in the same weight, and Robinson's tech falling people, and the Camacho's losing to, and it just, you can't, and that's what it's all about, because people are like, oh, well, he lost the wrestle-off. If you're a coach, the thing you want is the guy who is going to score you the most points at NCAA. You don't care who wins the wrestle-off. That's why they enter two guys in. You got Vince Robinson winning the bracket, and you got Camacho losing 3 matches. It doesn't matter if Camacho wins the wrestle-off 10-0. You're going to send Robinson in because he's going to score you the most points at NCAAs, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Vincent Robinson, I mean, he beat Max Gallagher, the U23 member, 17-5. He beat Lehigh's Sheldon Seymour, another ranked guy, 10-4. Diego Sotelo, he scored 15 points on. I mean, this dude is, he does not mess around. He's a redshirt freshman, so he's in the bracket now. Eddie Ventresca, everyone thought was gone and dead last year, but he was just really injured. He comes in healthy, and it also answers the question of, I always wondered, why did Cooper Flynn ever leave Virginia Tech? Because they had all these people coming in. I'm like, why did he leave? I think what happened was he can't beat Eddie Ventresca healthy. He knew that, so he jumped shipped because they did just wrestle and Ventresca beat him. So I think that's why he moved there. It kind of answers that question. We moved Drake Ayala, we're at 125 still. So yeah, just with 125, McCrone, we got him in there instead of Kilcarry. And yeah, that's, nothing
McCrone,
really shifting out besides that.
Spots there for Ohio State, but yeah, I think you pretty much touched on all the highlights there. 125. Why don't we move on? Let's touch on some of the highlights here for 133 because we've had some pretty big changes here. Mainly,
yes.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, go ahead, man.
I was going to highlight Connor McDougall. Connor McDougall down 4 spots. Drake Ayala down 5 spots. Lucas Bird up 3 spots. Tyler Wells up 9 spots. Cleveland Belton down 14 spots. Kevin, tell us why.
Okay, so Ayala, he got his first match, he won by tech fall, right? But he did get taken down, which was concerning. And I'm not nitpicking that, but it is what it is. And then looking at, and then he loses a match, which nobody thought that was even a possibility, that he was going to lose that match. And then Lucas Bird, he won the Journeyman. It's not that he had like the toughest tournament, but he was solid. He beat Brett Unger in the finals, 2-0, pretty much controlled the match. So he moved up a little bit. Connor McGonigal got upset, and that really shocked me because I got to tell you, man, I thought Connor McGonigal was a title contender. And not that he isn't. Stuff happens early in the year. But yeah, I was shocked when he lost to Tyler Wells, which is why we moved Tyler Wells up some spots. But yeah, I mean,
9
looking
spots.
at
way up, dude.
Yeah,
Tyler Wells way up.
This is why, Zach, too. Think about this. We all know how awesome Crookham is, right? Talk about what ifs. What if Connor McGonigal defeated Crookham last year? They were in overtime. What if he took Crookham down in overtime, and he almost did? Can you imagine the whole landscape of everything being different? It would be Crookham that would have to be going somewhere. It would have been McGonigal wrestling Vito all these times. And that's just the level. McGonigal was at the All-Star last year, and he won the All-Star match. He was in the All-Star thing. So McGonigal, I thought people were just, not really giving enough credit.
That's like I just watched The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher.
Yes.
Remember that movie? That's like a domino effect, butterfly effect. Could you imagine? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Great point.
And the fact that, like, Ayala lost to Knox is tough, but that's not someone that he should be losing to, and it is concerning. And the funniest quote ever Terry was telling me was Brand saying after the match simply, don't roll around with guys that like to roll around. because the score was 15-10.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yep.
Don't roll around. Guys like to roll around. So yeah, that's
Tom Brand's always great on the mic.
He's a quiet genius, man. He's a quiet genius.
I don't know about all that, but final thoughts on 133, and then let's talk about 141.
No, man. Just that we got to see Evan Frost hopefully get healthy soon to see him, and Jacob Van D just lost today to Campbell right before we came on here.
Our boy, dude. Dom Zaccone.
So, yeah.
Our boy Dom Zaccone, our co-host, just knocks him off, dude. Jacob Van D, the number 12 ranked. And welcome back into our rankings. Not even currently on the screen. Unbelievable.
He'll be back in, though. That was a good win for him. And it was
dude.
And what was this? It was like 6-0 or something, or 4. I don't know. It
was overtime. Overtime win.
Zaccone was it? Okay, I must have been looking at something else.
Grit, and
that's awesome.
He just lost a match that the kid everyone's overlooking. Let's move on 141, folks.
Yep.
We got a Casey Swiderski injury update or not? That's literally breaking within the past hour or so. Kyle Reen down 6 spots. Luke Stanich added to the rankings. Not only added, he's up to number 10. Ryder Block, Iowa, falls from the entire top 24 rankings. Danny Puccino added, and CJ Composto up 6 spots. Kevin, tell us about it.
So looking at this, Swiderski, we were all over that, getting him down to 41. That is a tragedy in itself. I'm not a huge Swiderski fan, but the kid was going to go 157 this year, and all of a sudden they're offering Ekamendia money to go down to 41, and Swiderski goes, I'll take the money. I'll go down to 41. I can't help to think that him sucking weight is related to this injury. Just like Vito, when Vito was trying to make 57 kilograms and he was getting, he ended up getting, he couldn't get healthy because when you're not feeding your body with nutrition, your body cannot heal. So, and you're way more prone to injury. So, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend I'm a doctor or something, but I think that that's probably, very well related. Now, Luke Stanich, and we'll see another Lehigh guy that we threw in at 65 as well. This is just gut, and this is just logic. Now, they have Malik Hines, right, who is a 3-time NCAA qualifier. He's a good guy. He's a good wrestler, but he's not the guy that's going to get your All-American wins. Malik Hines generally beats who he's supposed to beat and loses to who he's supposed to lose to. Luke Stanich goes out there, totally thinks he's redshirting, and he's beaten All-Americans. His only loss is to Jesse Mendez, who is just crushing everybody, but he is smoking people. And he's looking really good. He beat Sergio Lemley. I mean, that's a really good win for him. And he's placing high. And I think if like we said before, if you want to score the most NCAA points, you put Stanich in. Don't even bother redshirt. You want to win now? Put Stanich in. So we'll see if that stays. Maybe it doesn't. But maybe I look like an idiot. But we'll see. And then Kyrene. Well, Stanich beat or. Let's see here. Stanich beat Kyrene in 4-1, and so that's kind of why he dropped down. And let's see, Ryder
tongue back in Ori, right? No more tongue celebrations for him.
Yeah, come on with that.
More matches. You gotta start winning more matches.
I can't stand that. As far as Ryder Block, listen, go ahead.
Now, give us your thoughts on Ryder Block, and then
so Ryder Block. Okay, Ryder Block, listen, I know some people are going to be pissed off about this. I'm not saying he can't get back, but Aiden Valencia, he really he beat him pretty good, 11-6, and Aiden Valencia is probably going to redshirt this year. And even the match that Ryder Block won, Nash Singleton, who's kind of like I don't even think he's an NCAA qualifier kind of level, Ryder Block needed to win that match in the last seconds. I just don't see him right now. I'm not confident that he beats anyone on their top 24 list. At the end of the year, I think he'll definitely be on there. I think he'll be an NCAA qualifier, maybe around a 16, maybe around a 12 guy. We'll see. But right now, this is what I'm thinking.
He's going to be back, dude. Are you kidding me? I thought our rankings were like projecting the future. All right, moving on. 149. Actually, not a lot of changes here. The only note I have here, Cross Washleski from Penn added to the ranks. Kevin, anything else you want to add here at 149? no big changes in my brain.
No, nothing too exciting on this really. Looking at, let's see, yeah. Yeah, we can move on.
We can move on because there actually was some big changes, primarily at the top. Meyer Shapiro, we debated this, Kevin. How far does he fall? Concussion. We don't know the severity of a concussion. Let me tell you something about concussions. I had a conversation with Helen Maroulis, the first ever American women's freestyle Olympic champion, about concussions. And takeaway, Kevin, they're serious, dude. And Shapiro is now experiencing this, not for the first time, but the second, who knows how many times.
Third, fourth, yeah.
And, we have him falling to number 2. But as I kind of mentioned, and it might have been perceived as an overreaction last week, in a lot of ways I could see Shapiro's season being over. We're not overreacting to that degree in our rankings, only dropping in one spot. It's Teamer up to first, but tell us about some of the other moves. Or
so
everything.
with Meyer, everybody kept him the same except for us. And it's no secret that Myers right now he's my favorite dude in here. And I actually asked you guys, I was like, what do you guys think? I think we should move him down. How far down? And here's the thing with Meyer. I just want to say this real quick. He didn't have any concussions coming into Cornell, right? We saw what happened at CKLV. He got kicked in the head by Andonian. Then he got thrown on his head by Chumley, going out of bounds, trying to take him down. He was an absolute mess. He wore the football helmet after that. He has a concussion against Cardenas at NCAAs. The thing with concussions is, as soon as you get them, you're more susceptible to have them more frequently, and that's what's scaring me because it's literally, you've seen the movie, I'm sure. It's like your brain being in a jar, and it's not attached. It's just shaking and hitting, and it's scary. And if I really hope, as much as I want to see this guy be at NCAAs and be here all season, I pray to God that Mike Gray is taking him to a specialist and they're getting a serious look at him, and that they sit him down and they, at the very least, make sure he doesn't go to CKLV. He is out for a while. I would like to see him try and get a medical, or just, I don't even care about his eligibility. Just sit the year out, get better. Maybe I worry about his health more than anything, more than I care about myself watching, a Cornell guy possibly win a title. But he better sit this time, because it pisses me off that they continue to let him go back in the match and wrestle every time he's hurt. He goes in, his head is all up, and they send him back in for. And I hate to tell you guys, but when you got a 19-year-old kid that's sitting here, he's not going to tell you that he's not okay. Doesn't want to let the fans down. He's proud. He's not thinking. Yeah. Young kids never think about the future, and he's thinking, and you know what? That's where you got to be an adult, and you got to sit him down and be like, no, you're not going back in. That's when you have to be the coach.
Yeah, and no, Kevin, it's well said. And, you cannot expect Shapiro to have the maturity or like the understanding of the severity of the situation. He's out there to be tough, dude. Like, he's raised to be tough. He will die on that mat. That's where like you have to expect a level of responsibility out of the coaching staff and the trainers to step in there. And it's like,
that's their job.
The first word really it makes me seem like when I see them send him back out there, the first word that comes to my mind is selfish. Like, why?
Yeah.
Or like,
I feel like,
other than for your own, I don't know, maybe I'm way off there.
I think that maybe I'm just guessing, speculating, that Gray thinks that if he takes him out, fans are going to be pissed off. No, fans are pissed off because you're sending them back in. Okay, so if that's what he thinks, it's totally wrong with that, and you're right. He needs a parent figure to be like, stop going in there, man, because he isn't going to stop. And you know what? If anybody who hasn't seen him wrestle, he wrestles reckless, and that's what makes him so good. Though it's not like you can tell him to start. I mean, you watch that match against Harvard, 2 takedowns with the strangest takedowns I've ever seen, by the way. But they were simple throw-bys. and then he turned it into a complex thing. He gets back points. He's up 10-1, 90 seconds into the match. Why in the world do you have to go for a body lock inside trip in the first period when you're up 10-1? Why do you have to do that? That's the stuff that he has to stop.
Well,
you know,
he needs to understand how to like actually scale back 100 to like 80%. You know what I mean? Like he's such a go. Yeah, you're right, dude. And his style is not conducive to his head problems.
He has no regard for his body whatsoever. And you need proof of that. Watch the 3 Andonian matches. I know I made a highlight. It's fun to watch, but it's frightening. So that's the Meyer situation. I hope to not see him for a while.
Kind of me too. Also, in conclude at 157, Ed Scott down 5 spots.
Yep.
Teague Travis
lost
2 spots.
Ed Scott lost 2 matches. Ed Scott lost to Jude Swisher, who I was shocked because Meyer teched him 15-0, and he lost to the Harvard kid 5-3. That Meyer was beaten 10-1 before he got hurt. He lost to him too. So Ed Scott is someone that will take losses, but he never ever loses to unranked guys. So the fact that he lost to 2 unranked guys in the same day, it is concerning, you know, because those aren't the type of losses he takes. Teague Travis looked good. He's up. That's the way that goes. Besides that, that's about it for 157.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. 165. Kevin, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna scale back like the intensity here, or normally we have a fast pace, but I'm keeping an eye on the Tyson, these previews over here. You know what I mean? Like the odds. I put a lot of bets in, Kevin, and I got Jake Paul first round win at plus 2,000. $20 to win $420. Seriously,
that's good.
Here's what I was thinking about. Like, not only is there a knockout chance, Mike Tyson's 58 years old. When's the last time he got hit in the head? He might
4 years ago.
He might freak out. And this might fight
the guy's nose off.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, does a knockout? Does that win you the bet though? Is it a fight stoppage or not? Does it have to be a knockout?
Win. Just a win. No.
Just a win. Just says win. Wow. Yeah, that's a good bet then. That's a great bet.
Money, but listen, let's move 165. We have added. Welcome to the club, Max Brignola.
Yeah, so Max Brignola from Lehigh, same boat as Luke Stanich. Max Brignola moved up a weight like Stanich, only Stanich moved up 2 weights. Brignola has had himself a season already. He is a guy that got second at EIWAs last year. Meyer beat him 6-3. You think he won 1 match at NCAAs at 157, but he moves up a weight class, and this is a perfect example of, I think he was sucking too much weight when he was at 157, because he looks like a completely different guy now, and he's won both tournaments that he's been in, which is astonishing. Yeah, like I can't believe that. Looking at him
opinions
right here.
on weight movements now, Kevin. I'm just going to tell you right now, real quick. Let me interrupt real quick. I got real strong. All this weight cutting, dude, and all this variance of wrestlers and their performance that we've seen lately. Let me tell you something, folks. Go watch some of our recent interviews. That, along with, we're currently compiling our synopsis of the Chance Marsteller film that Flow Wrestling has coming out soon.
Yeah.
By the way, incredible. But let me tell you something, dude. All these recent events that I have had happen, I have a much different view on weight changes now and a very strong opinion, and I am very against weight change. Like, this weight sucking, I can go back to even my own experience. That's horrible. If I go back to it, that's why I quit wrestling, dude. I was spitting in a cup all day. Yeah. But that's why I stopped. I don't want to diverge, but we'll get into it more.
No, dude, it's true, man. When I went to Cortland to wrestle, I was weighing 170, and I was wrestling it was 142 back then, not 141. And I finally just said, screw this, man. And even when looking back on it, like if my 2-year-old wrestles, he will never ever lose weight. And I'll tell you what, like I remember in 8th grade. I remember making weight in 8th grade, varsity in 8th grade, and I would drink Gatorade, and I'd feel it burning down my esophagus. That's just messed up, man. It's not healthy.
Well,
And I'm with you with that, Zach.
Go listen to the Helen Maroulis interview.
Yeah.
And coming out tomorrow morning is the Sarah Hildebrandt interview. She really talks about the
Awesome.
weight cutting and how it affects
She's
your
so cool.
enjoyment of the sport. And folks, coming out soon, BG Wrestling, we were fortunate enough we were provided early access to the flow film of Chance Marsteller. And let me tell you something, you're going to absolutely have to watch it because we're going to obviously be talking about some of the things from that, but weight cutting primarily one of the big topics from that. But anyway,
absolutely.
Kevin,
so
sorry to interlude that.
So I want to. No, that's cool, man. It's cool. So Brignola, it gave me time to pull it up. Actually, he went and he's beaten Derek Fields, which is NC State's ranked starter. He beat Nico Ruiz, who is real tough. He had a really close match with Messenbrink last year, if you remember, from Arizona State. Then he wrestled Ethan Burden from Ohio State. Now, Ethan Burden lost the wrestle-off to Bryce Hepner, in sudden tiebreaker. He lost to in tiebreaker. And he is a quality wrestler, this Ethan Burden. And Brignola tech-falled him 20-5. That's what kind of blew my mind. So, again, if you're Lehigh, what are you doing? Get this guy. He's your starter. Pull his shirt and put him in the lineup. You just don't know what's going to happen down the road. So many things could happen. He could get hurt next year. He could transfer. Someone could, you don't know who you have next year. In this day and age, you start someone.
Really good point, dude. And I heard Piles talking about it, man. About what in today's world, in this NIL world, dude, you got to take the money. You got to cash that money when you can get it now in today's world. So I'm sorry, man. I'm throwing out red shirts and all these delaying because, dude, that dude could transfer tomorrow to Oklahoma State because David Taylor
I'm looking at this dude doing it. If I'm a college, I could get this guy kind of cheap, right? I mean, I definitely would do that. Looking at that, then Sammy Sasso. What can you say about Sammy Sasso? 15 months ago, this guy gets shot, right? And it blows my mind. And Sasso, he had nerve damage in his spine and leg injuries. He spent 6 weeks in the hospital in rehabilitation. I honestly had I was very doubtful that we were going to see Sasso on the mat this year.
Then we were
and I was like, no way, man. And I thought, and then up 2 weight classes, and you know what, man? Watched him. Yeah, he wasn't against the best quality opponent, but he was on the mat. And that in itself is amazing. And he almost majored the guy, and he's still the same Sasso. This guy shoots in. He's so hard to take down. It was like that made my night watching him out there. I just was so happy to see him come back. It was really like heartwarming that to see him out on the mat.
My heart was very warmed, Kevin. But
the other
mushy, Sasso might have warmed my heart even a little more, dude. Because I don't know if you've seen who's joined the new party. The other Sasso, dude. But
Sonny Sasso.
Sonny Sasso. Hey, folks, I'm working the lines right now. I'm working on Dom Zacconi. I'm trying to get him to call in live, dude. He's a little occupied, but we might have him call him live. I'm working on him right now, calling live. Campbell Wrestler.
That would be awesome.
Big win tonight, dude. Live on
Big
UFC
win,
Fight Pass, dude. And the former correspondent for us. But, Kevin, let's move on to 174 while we're moving on. And let me highlight this because Nelson Brands, Iowa, and my Iowa conglomerate, yikes, fell 7 spots. 7 spots. Lorenzo Norman up 12 spots. Huge. Nick and Contreras up 5 spots. Dan Bernagle down 7 spots. Jackson Turley down 9 spots. Big moves happening here at 174, Kevin. Summarize us.
Yeah. So Nelson Brands obviously didn't look good the initial match. We all know that. But then I reminded everyone that this is kind of who Nelson Brands is. Nelson Brands is 7th in college, and he has a career record of like 43-18 or something. It's really crazy. That's the only amount of matches he's wrestled. When he All-American 2 years ago, he was only 15-8, which means that he went into conferences with almost a 500 record. Nelson Brands does not ever get beat by a lot. Starachi beat him 2-1. but he doesn't win by a lot either. So I took that with a grain of salt. But then losing to Lorenzo, who is tough, he just doesn't look like he hasn't had a takedown yet, Zach. He has not had a takedown.
I know, man.
So
I had very high hopes
that concerns
for
me.
Brands, dude, and I thought he was going to come out looking like a dog, and who knows what goes on in that Iowa room. If you want to get a little insight, listen to the Clarissa Chun interview I put out a couple of days ago. But hey, listen, I had like a month ago predicted Nelson Brands to be my comeback wrestler of the year. Right now, I'm putting my foot in my mouth.
No, man, he's wrestled 14 minutes, and he has scored 2 escapes and a riding time point. That riding time point was a minute exactly. So that against Sean Harmon and Lorenzo Norman, that is his output. It's even for him. And Nelson Brands, like I said, he's only had 4 bonus victories his whole career. 4. He has no pins, and those 4 bonus victories were all majors by exactly 8 points. So that's it.
Hey, Rainback 11 says, heard we may be seeing Kennedy. Now, listen, that would be something, wouldn't it, for the Brands to throw the nephew down and to the backups? And realistically, let's be honest, Kevin, Kennedy probably deserves a spot in the lineup based on this recent performance.
Kennedy, I'll tell you what, at U23s, he teched Ramirez twice, right?
Kennedy's a dog. I love Kennedy, dude.
And I think that here's the thing with Brands. It's kind of like, me going, what do I do with Meyer Shapiro in the rankings? Yeah, of course I want to put him first, but I also realize that I look like an idiot and everyone's going to go, it's just because he's a Cornell fan, he's first. The Brands, it's just because he's related that they're not putting Kennedy in. So you almost got to kind of, I think that we'll at least see him in some duels because they got to at least test him.
I'm starting to think that, dude. And let me tell you something, if Nelson Brands doesn't start showing up and showing out, I'm going to start thinking this is like, what is this, like a family freaking, you put your son into starting.
Well,
lineup,
Kennedy,
dude. Come on,
Kennedy
man.
is going to be wrestling. Kennedy's probably going to be wrestling this weekend, they said. He was in one of the, Terry said he's in one of the lineups. So we'll see. We'll see. And again, screw what happens if there was a wrest-off. It doesn't mean anything. If Kennedy goes out here and he starts scoring takedowns and winning matches, then that's the guy you want at NCAA scoring you points. You want the guy. He doesn't wrest-offs don't mean anything anymore, really.
Wrest-offs don't mean anything. And Nelson
now
Brands
the only thing
losing his entire career opportunity. And dude, I'm sorry, but I'll just say one final word on that. That would be a very sour ending to Nelson Brands' career, man. Based on
it would be
these in hindsight, these like bad allegations or bad,
and
was really bad.
And that was the best.
Dude.
That was the best that Brands was ever wrestling in his life. Was
I know
at NCAA's when the All-American, and you don't know what that gap does. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think that we'll see what happens. But I think that that's the way they're going to play it. And then also at 74, Nick in Contreras beat Simon Ruiz from Cornell, the gray shirt freshman, in the finals of the Journeyman, and that was a really tough weight. That weight was loaded at the Journeyman. There was a lot of ranked guys in it, so that's why he moves up. And watch out for him; he is tough. And so that's about it on 74. We can move on.
Okay, let's move on. That's it for 70. That was actually a lot for 74, dude.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to 84.
I don't want to bore people to death.
Let's summarize up. We got Dylan Fishback down 5 spots. Brock Del Signor up 4 spots. Edmund Ruth, my dad talked about him last week, down 10 spots.
Yeah, he should. He's
Hawks up 4 spots. Go ahead.
Edmund Ruth is hanging in the rankings by a thread. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with him. I hope he's okay. But he's never been like Brands. He's never been an offensive juggernaut. Okay, but he's losing to guys that he has no business losing to. Now, listen, he did go up a weight class, and if you remember correctly, sometimes that doesn't bode well for everyone. Look at what happened to Chris Foca. Yes, I know all the Cornell examples, but it's just what I know. He goes third in the NCAA's, 30-2. He moves up to 84, and he's losing to Sam Wolf, and he's he's just a round of 12 guy. Sometimes that shift from 74 to 84 can be really tough. Other times with like Dustin Plott, he actually excelled. But it seems to be a lot. Guys have an easier time moving from 84 to 97 for whatever reason that is, because it's a bigger weight gap. But then they do 74 to 84.
Interesting.
But yeah, he's looking good. And then Dylan Fishback, the inconsistency of him. He lost to Reese Heller, but it was just the way that he lost. He lost 2-1. I mean, when guys lose, it's one thing, but when you just don't score any points, really, it's cause for concern, you know.
Bad for
and
your brand, and it's boring, and it's gonna really drop you in our rankings. Yeah.
I mean, he lost to Fishback lost to Reese Heller and Edmund Ruth, both 2-1. You can't be losing 2 matches 2-1, because that means what it tells me is not only are you not scoring points, you're not putting yourself in any position to score points, which is why the other guy only has 2 points. You know, it just shows me that you're so defensive that, you know, nothing's happening in the match, and you can't win matches that way. You have to open up, take chances.
To want to win, you know what I mean? And and it shows me also not to expect you to rise in the rankings anytime soon. Colby Kenny,
right on.
You know, comment says, can still only hear Zach out of one side of my headphones. It's the weirdest thing. Well, listen.
It's okay, though.
Sure that's not a us problem. That's probably you problem, Colby, right? Like, I don't... Headphones problem. Kevin, can you hear me in both your headphones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Checking.
I don't know, Zach.
Moving on, folks. Moving on. Let's go to 197. Let's look at 197 rankings. Go ahead.
We put AJ up, and I can't say that there's really any reason for it. I mean, we haven't seen Cardenas yet. He just came off of U23s. It's nothing that Cardenas did or AJ did necessarily. It was us sitting there thinking, visualizing a match between the two, and I just think that I would bet on AJ Ferrari over Cardenas if they were to wrestle.
Kevin, I'll tell you what my input was, quite frankly. Every single week that AJ goes and is not kicked out of the program, I'm literally adding a 5% to his championship odds every single week, because every single week he's able to go and not get eliminated and kicked out of a program. I mean, if we're talking about the pure talent, I mean, Stephen Buchanan, I think AJ Ferrari, if he was under probably my training program, would completely dog Stephen Buchanan. However, under his current training program, he might slightly only beat Stephen Buchanan, but I'm still going to bet on him beating him. But under my training program, he would dog him. Go ahead, Kevin.
So here, you know, I hate to do this guy wrestled this guy and this guy wrestled this guy, but just to get some kind of, because we haven't seen AJ wrestle certain guys in years, they both wrestled Nick Stemmet, right, from Stanford. And AJ beat Nick Stemmet 5-0, and Buchanan tech-falled him. And Buchanan is
different
tough,
spots.
Man.
Different spots in their lives, different spots in their careers. But yeah, go ahead.
Buchanan is really tough, and he looks really good right now. Honest to God, I think that I'm kind of shocked how good he looks. I wasn't really expecting it.
Whoa, I'm not impressed with Buchanan. In fact, if I were to pick someone to win this other than Buchanan, other than AJ, I think I might go Munoz.
Well, how can you not be impressed with Buchanan, though? He beat Trey Munoz, the guy that you just said,
and he beat. But I'm telling Munoz bumped up his weight, and by the end of this year, Kevin, Munoz is going to be on him. And I know how these Iowa wrestlers, quite frankly, I'm an Iowa fan. They love us in Iowa. Every time I go out in Iowa, man, all I hear is how much they love BEG wrestling. But seriously, I know how they kind of wear down traditionally at the end of the years. So
Trey Munoz is going to put on weight during the season? How's he going to do that? Have you ever put on weight during the wrestling season?
He's going to get more, what's the word, adapted to, or
thinner?
Like more.
I know what you're saying. Accustomed.
Think of the word, man.
Touche.
That's what you get for your live shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do pretty good with the live, though, you know? But, yeah, so listen, with that, Christian Carroll, Zach, the rumor had it that he was weighing like 220 something
Dude,
a few
talk
weeks
about
before
him.
the season, and I was like, this guy's screwed, man. Yeah, I heard he was high maintenance. He was a pain in the ass. I heard all this stuff about him,
I
but
did hear rumors about him.
He's come out and he looks great. Like he looks really freaking
That's
good, man.
what I
And
saw at all these Olympic trial events, Kevin. I said, dude, Christian Carroll is. Why are we not talking about him? And then at Oklahoma State, that David Taylor they crashed mentally against each other, and he leaves now. And it leads to overlooking Christian Carroll, but Christian Carroll is ultimately going to probably be a podium guy. I'm sorry, at 197.
Yeah, I mean, his
right
only,
now, currently ranked number 10.
He beat Nick Stemmet. It seems like everybody's beating Nick Stemmet, but Nick Stemmet must have the most difficult schedule in the NCAA. I mean, seriously, every time I look at a ranked guy, Nick Stemmet has wrestled. He's wrestled Buchanan, Carroll, and AJ. He just happens to be the three guys that we talked about.
Flo was actually talking about him having arguably the most difficult schedule. Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's that. So Sonny Sasso, listen, Sonny Sasso supposedly is injured or something right now, but he's going to come back and he's going to take that spot from Andy Smith. I'm convinced 100%. We also put
the rankings.
Yep, we also put Lucas Cochran in for beating Barr in the wrestle off. Did we even talk about? We didn't even talk about Facundo and Kasak, but we'll touch on that after we get done with this. So Lucas Cochran, he beats Barr in a wrestle off. We don't know for sure, but as of now, it seems like it's Cochran's spot, which sucks for Barr because Barr already redshirted. Barr planned on going 84 this year. Strachey comes back, goes 84. He's SOL for now. So Lucas Cochran, I was looking at his matches because all everybody talks about is, he beat Slav. He beat Slav last year at 285. So I went through and I was looking at his matches, and it's nothing that is just eye opening or anything.
Is this a downgrade, unfortunate for Penn State fans? Like, we were all expecting Josh Barr, now Lucas Cochran wins, and then we're like, it's kind of a letdown, because Josh Barr we had ranked higher.
I think that Barr has a higher ceiling. I know that it's not his true weight class, and I know that he is
hold to these wrestle-offs in Penn State. Is that how we do it?
We don't know what they're doing really. We don't even know if that's the guy they're going to put out there. But when I'm looking at his, he's got some good wins. He did. But he's got some losses that are kind of like Michael Beard majored him 20-6. Okay. So that's not somebody that. That's not somebody that. He also
Beard underperforms every single year at the NCAAs. If there's someone want to major me, it would be Michael Beard.
He also got majored by. He also got majored by Cardenas, and Cardenas doesn't major a lot of people. He lost. Going 2 years back, he lost to Dakota Howard by major. There's some questionable losses on here, but yes, he did beat Slav. That was his big, that's his big calling out match. But I'm not super impressed by his history. Now, he's in Penn State's room, okay, so he's going to get better. But looking at his quality matches,
I'm so sick of hearing about that Penn State room, dude. Yes,
well, it's true, man. It is what it is.
Folks, and that interview is out now. You can go hear about how qualified they're wrestling with the Olympic wrestlers, but that's freestyle. This is folk style. I'm telling you, it's a little different.
Also on this, Zach Glazier is in the rankings. He will be in the rankings. He's definitely in. It's just that was an error on my part doing that, and we didn't have time to put him back in. But he is in the rankings, so no hate emails.
Wow, I was going to drop him out, dude. Zach Glazier.
Just like that? I thought you liked Zach Glazier.
I mean, I do. But I drop people hard. I have no feelings. No feelings over here, Kevin. Yeah. Strictly neutral, folks. I love Iowa.
285.
I hate Penn State, but I'm strictly neutral across the board on all of them.
That's cool, man.
By the
That's how we
way,
roll.
updated odds, live betting odds. Jake Paul minus 220. Can you believe this, dude? Kevin, I'm sorry, man, and I'll let you wrap up the rankings, but I just let me go back to just our thumbnail because, dude, Jake Paul. I mean, we started the show. He was minus 270. Is now only minus 220. Tyson started at plus 225. Now at plus 180. Live odds here. So money coming in on Mike Tyson here, Kevin. Have you bet this fight at all? Let me ask you.
No, man, I try and stay away from bets because I just go just like everything else. Dude, I go crazy when I do stuff, man. Like I was betting football for a while, and next thing you know, it was like I'm doubling down for the 7 or the 4 o'clock games. Then all of a sudden Monday night, I'm either up big or down big. I was just like, I've had enough. I can't do anything in moderation, Zach. So yeah, I tend to stay away from the bets. Pretty much. Pretty much, man.
Addict,
No,
but-
it's
No,
yeah, no, I know. I get it.
you're a
I'm very
responsible
obsessive.
person. You're a responsible person who knows how to control. Now, me, I have no self-control, folks. None. No self-control. I threw a lot of units down tonight, folks. I'm going to actually tell you what I got.
Your bets are good though, man. I think they're good. I like your bets.
Well, listen. First of all, my gut instinct. I told you, and I got a 50% boost on DraftKings, folks. Go check it out on DraftKings. They don't sponsor us. I haven't approved They sent us a request to be a sponsor. I gotta click approve on that tomorrow. I think probably.
Heck yeah, man. I like DraftKings.
But
I
Mike
like
Tyson,
DraftKings,
I
man.
got with a 50% boost at plus 278 to win. $10 to win $40, basically. Can you believe that? Mike Tyson, you can bet $10 to win $40 to beat Jake Paul, a YouTuber. Now,
See,
just
that's
say
a
that
great
out loud,
bet
dude.
because it's like it's $10, right? So it's like if you lose, it's like you just spent $10. But $40 is cool, man. You know, like it's
that's dinner.
some green
That's
coming
dinner
back in,
tomorrow
right?
night, baby. I'm going
So
to buy
you're
roast
either gonna
beef.
that's the way I look at it. You're either going to turn your insignificant $10 into partially significant 40, or you just had $10, you spent $10, you had fun. That's
Yeah.
great. That's the way to bet, man.
No. Thank you. No, I appreciate your feedback. Now I'm going to tell you another bet I made here. Jake Paul. Now 2 Jake Paul bets I made. One to win in the first round, the other to win by KO, DQ, or TKO. The DQ, KO, or DKO, 20 to win 50. Now, I'm not even sure Mike Tyson can.
I think that's what's
Go
going to
for
happen
it.
in this fight, to be honest with you. I think that is going to happen. DQ, KO. I think that's yeah. So it's
And Mike Tyson's 60 years old, dude. Let's be honest. And to Jake Paul to win the first
Did
round of
you?
the final.
How about that freaking clip your dad sent over in the thread where he was like, "This is gold," and it was like Mike Tyson getting interviewed by some young girl, and she's
that
like
just happened
talking to him
yesterday,
about
dude.
legacy, and he's just like, "I don't care. We're gonna die, and we're just like dust. We're not even significant." And this poor little girl's sitting there like. And I'm like, what is wrong with this guy, man? She's like 8 years old. You're telling her that we're dust.
Yeah, but that is the definition of Mike
man.
Tyson. Mike Tyson, I mean, you talk in his heyday,
Doesn't
dude.
give
The
a
dude
shit.
just sees red. Like I do understand that
He-
dude
dude.
goes into a different mental state where he sees red.
He has the
And
best. He has my. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but my only concern is that I know you see red when it comes to throwing your punches, but like when it comes
Yeah.
to getting hit, are you still seeing red when you get hit with those punches at 58 years old? That's my question. I think that's why Jake
Say what
Paul's
you want about
probably a
Jake
favorite.
Paul, but say what you want about Jake Paul, but he's a big guy, big enough where if he's trained to throw punches, it will have an effect on even Mike Tyson, who's almost 60 years old. So I don't know. I hope
Jake Paul
I love Mike Tyson.
million. Rumors are Jake Paul's making $20 million. Mike Tyson's making $10 million off this. But I'll say this: as opposed to former Jake Paul fights, this one does not seem fugazi, dude. Mike Tyson came out, and Mike Tyson, folks, is out here to fight and kill. And Mike Tyson has gone red into that red mode. But
comment by Greg C is hilarious.
Betting on this fight is like betting the WWF. No, it is, but how incredible that you can actually bet it. I mean, I did. I certainly did, folks. I bet it.
That is hysterical.
And I will also be betting the Bo Nickal Craig fight tomorrow. Bo Nickal was a minus 1,500 favorite that's fallen back.
He's gonna crush that guy.
Bo Nickal's gonna dominate. We had our UFC expert on, Drew, and Bo Nickal's gonna dominate. I'm still waiting for the day. I cannot wait to see Bo Nickal in a real fight, folks. Like a real fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he will dominate this guy. Just another, the guy's old. He's coming off losses, whatever.
Kevin,
but yeah, it's 280. What are we on? 285. Can we wrap this up? The rankings up anyway?
No, rankings are wrapped up, dude. Because tomorrow, I forgot, man. We kind of ran long, but we got the All-Star Classic tomorrow, man, and we got matchups and the
you don't want to talk about the weight
on the screen. What's that?
Oh yeah, so
there's
the
weekend
was there anything?
schedule. I also have the NW.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these matchups real quick.
Okay. All right. So the All-Star Classic, just so everybody does know, in case, you live under a rock and you haven't heard, Frost is injured, like we said. Lucas Bird substituting for him. Lucas Bird just won the Journeyman. Devos is in for Welsh, who is going to be, he is redshirting this year, which we kind of figured. And so DeVos against Levi Haynes, and then Gadali against is in for Bastida, who was in for Kirkfleet. So that's the changes that have happened so far. But I'll be completely honest with you. Some of these matches I like better now than I did before. I was not even remotely interested in watching Levi Haynes versus Rocco Welsh because, as we said, Rocco Welsh won 3 matches in a row at NCAA's 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. And Levi Haynes has a great defense. So that to me was another 4-1 match. Plus, they're in the same conference. And at the time I was thinking we're going to see these guys anyway. Not interested. DeVos, that's a little more interesting. I think more points get put on the board. Now with Frost and Bailey, Nasir Bailey, they wrestled. It was 15-0 tech fall. And I know that Frost has gotten better since then. But where Frost got destroyed was from the bottom position. Because Bailey is a stud on top with his wrist. He's got his wrist all taped up. Does those tilts, man. He crushed him. I think that I think it's a bad matchup for Frost either way. Lucas Bird isn't the most offensive guy, but it's just a new match that we haven't seen. And I would say Goodall.
I've always been a big Bird fan. And Gadiali.
Bird is the word.
Biggest Gadiali fan, dude. I tell you right now, we missed him. We missed you, Tay, at the Campbell event tonight, man. Now it got canceled. You wouldn't have been able to wrestle anyway.
Oh, it did get canceled? That sucks. Did it get canceled? Because they were moving it into the gym.
No, they moved it inside, so he would have been able to wrestle, but the live stream
got canceled. Oh, all right. So, but I like that matchup with Kirk because he's a great athlete, and I think that he has a better shot at getting some kind of points on Kirk than the other 2 that were in there. I think that, I don't know. I just don't see Feldman or Bastida.
Dude. No, I really do want to see his full offense there. Yeah. Looking forward to that.
And as everybody knows, the matches don't count. So it's like, whatever. And I know people are like, well, they don't count, but they do use it for rankings. No, they don't use it for rankings. They don't count and they don't use it for rankings. Now, if it comes down where 2 people are like
rankings,
tied.
Dude, they also don't use freshmen for rankings. They don't use these rankings.
No. I'm talking about
real rankings are at pgwrestling.com.
I'm talking about when you're at NCAA. That's right. NCAA seeding points I'm talking about. They won't use the All-Star to get your seeding points. So it's stupid. They're wrestling the match. Just whatever.
It's Fugazi, and the only place that's not Fugazi, I'm sorry to say it, Kevin,
BG
is BEGWrestling.com. We entail, and I'll tell you right now, Kevin, if I get one of my insiders tell me that a girlfriend broke up with one of these top 3 wrestlers, I will drop him in the rankings. And it will be reflected, and that is insider, and that's why these are the most accurate.
It's like insider trading, right?
Yeah, and we're the insiders.
Also, Zach, this weekend, just to touch base, there are some good matchups. Like right now,
Unbelievable.
we're in the process of having Missouri at Virginia Tech is
weekend
awesome.
schedule, folks, on the screen now.
Awesome
Tune
matchup.
in.
Missouri at Virginia Tech I like. Also, Nebraska at UNC. It may not seem like a really exciting match, but look at the matchups in that match. Nebraska and UNC. Tons of good matchup. Then you got Oklahoma State and Utah Valley. You got Bear Claw and Cam Amin. That's a great match between
Nebraska
those two.
Nebraska literally left Campbell
I know, what a weird situation.
Drove to UNC, and they're wrestling that, I believe, as we speak, live.
That's
now.
So strange. That is strange.
A doubleheader. I mean, have you heard of this? They wrestled on a baseball field at Campbell, and then they drive to UNC, North Carolina, to wrestle the second of a doubleheader. I love it, dude. Let's open up the doors, dude, in wrestling. Why is everything so got to be boxed in a square little box? No, let's do a freaking wrestle on a baseball field, then drive over here. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Because why not, right? Why not get that going? When you, I know I highlighted
Major League.
I highlighted.
Go ahead.
I highlighted Penn in Northern Colorado because there are some good matchups in that as well. Believe it or not. So Max Gallagher and Steve O'Pollin is a great matchup. Serrano and Miller, that's another ranked matchup. Aliras and Composto, there's 3 matchups. And then we got Cross Wazowski against Adam Buselli. Now, Adam Busello is a weird story, man. He was a 5-time New York State champ, and everybody wanted him. He went to Penn State. That didn't work out. He went to Arizona State. That didn't work out. He ended up at a junior college, and our boy there from Clash of Combat actually wrestled him in one of his things, and he beat him. But he's there. Then you got Jude Swisher versus Vince Zerbin. I mean, quietly, there's 7 ranked matchups in this dual meet. Northern Colorado and Penn. That's the type of stuff you got to look for, because you're thinking, it doesn't sound good. It's a good dual meet. And then tomorrow, I just highlighted because Penn State, that's a big one. If anybody wants to give me their bobblehead, I'll take the bobblehead. If anybody needs it, throw it right back here.
Opening up their season tomorrow, folks. The #1 team ranked in the country. We have an
NC State Rutgers.
Action-packed weekend, folks. I mean, we are in the heart of it. Kevin, we had so many topics, dude. I couldn't even fill up. We couldn't even cover all the topics we got for tonight, and
No, we really we just about did, man. Yeah, we did. We covered everything, man. That's like the first time we've ever covered everything.
What? Get out of here, dude. Final odds.
I got cotton mouth, man.
I do by the end of every show, but listen. Final odds, folks. By the start of the episode, it was Paul -270, Tyson +225. Folks, it does look like the odds have moved to Jake Paul -220 now. Tyson plus only 180, so the money is coming in on Mike Tyson right now. The late money, Kevin, which is generally the smart money, is coming in right now on Mike Tyson, and it does lead me to believe what I always was kind of led to believe. Mike Tyson is an absolute dog, and now I'm going to actually end the show with thinking, I'm going to leave it with, I'm taking Mike Tyson to win this fight. Kevin, who are you taking to win this fight? It's starting now on Netflix.
I'm taking. Well, let me ask you this, Zach. Is this one of those things where it's starting on Netflix, but we watch it they fight at midnight, or is this something
Netflix is doing a new live thing, which is, let me also mention, folks, we're in discussions with Claw Wrestling currently on some live production. Anyway, go ahead. It's live.
No, I'm asking, are there fights before this fight, or does it go right into this fight? Do you know you watch these and all of a sudden they're like 3 hours later they end up fighting? Do you know if there's fights before the fight, or?
I don't know the answer to that, but
You don't know
you
that?
know what? I'm sure they do have something coming ahead, so it's probably not happening right now.
Right.
That's
And okay,
promotional
so
material. Which actually makes me think I should probably do one of my talent show materials before. If we ever get a claw production, I will do my own personal talent show. I did win the talent show in high school, Kevin. I don't know if you knew this. That I won the talent show sophomore, junior,
I don't doubt that.
senior year.
Speaking of talent shows, Zach, is there any way that we can play that 20-second video that WWE emailed us on why Gable got why they didn't let him continue WWE?
Folks, yeah, why not? I think I can, man. Let's
Yeah, we got this from Vince McMahon. He emailed us.
You just made my decision that much easier. How about this? Me versus you in my first match at the Great American Bash.
You just made my decision that much easier. How about this? Me versus you in my first match at the Great American Bash.
Sums that up.
Oh, wow! Oh, my goodness! Wow!
I got more,
shots
Zach.
Fired from Kevin, dude.
Zach, I got more, man. I got so many more.
Kevin's
So we'll split them up.
Gable Stevenson's biggest fan, folks. I don't know if you noticed. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. It's going live right now on Netflix, folks. We're gonna end this because it's going live. The odds are -220. Jake Paul plus 180. Our rankings are updated on begwrestling.com, and we're going live tomorrow night, folks. We'll be right back here live tomorrow with Wayne. Tomorrow night, Kevin. I'm sure you'll probably be joining. NWCA All-Star Classic live instant reaction. That's our best stuff, is our live reactions. So these
absolutely, man. I can't wait. Love it.
Firing up, man. We fire it up, dude. That's what we're firing up. We're wrestling, folks. This is what we do. Like and subscribe. This is BG Wrestling. Kevin, thank you.